Now, 14 months ago, I got a message from a lad who said, I'm thinking about doing a movie. And I'm like, I love this. Now, yesterday after the show, I got invited to a private screening of Last Men Standing. And now I got to see the film in its entirety. It made me cry. It made me smile. And it got me there, all right? And I got to host a Q&A with the director of the movie. And what it does, it documents the history of coal mining in 3 coal mines in a specific part of East Durham. And we got to find out why it's important for future generations to remember our heritage.
People living in Easton Colliery will ask me in the welfare, why is it called Easton Colliery? It's why, because there was a colliery here. We explain to people, that's where the pit was. Oh, what did you do? So we dug coal. Well, there's no hole there. No, we went down in a big cage underground. People don't know what a mine is. Why are they getting taught about this at school? We actually fueled the Industrial Revolution. And people don't know nothing about coal mining. Why they're hiding it?
It's an interesting subject, and it's something that's very close to my heart, if you know me. And it was just wonderful to follow this story of 15 men and telling their story and to see it on the big screen. Now, Last Men Standing documents the lives and careers of 15 coal miners from County Durham, specifically from 3 pits, Horden, Blackhall and Easington. And we followed this story from its conception here on this show at BBC Radio Tees, from the guy who had the idea, getting in touch, Lynn's setting everything up, and just every so often touching base and having a chat. It became a photo exhibition, which was shown at the Welly in Easington. That was magnificent, unbelievable. And then yesterday there was a private screening of the movie that was made of these 15 men, documenting life before, during and after Life Underground. And the man behind it is Russell Smith. He produced it. And I sat with him as we watched the movie, and I got to speak to some of the stars of the movie of Last Man Standing. And that was yesterday afternoon at Cineworld in Dalton Park, where there used to be a mine right next door. So this is a bit of a summary of our afternoon, and Lynn's has put all this together. Have a listen.
That's my solidarity. I'll walk naked to that pit for my job back.
I feel like I've made a really good film. I'm really proud of it. The reaction was just unbelievable. I was not expecting that. Standing ovation for a first screening of your first film you've ever made. But everybody involved has been fantastic from the start. Yeah, it's going to take a while to kind of sink in, really.
I sat next to you. It was like sitting next to someone on a roller coaster. You went through every emotion watching it. You laughed, you cried, you were back in your seat, you were forward in your seat. Were you prepared for that?
No, once you see it on a screen that big, it becomes a very different film. You know, I've watched Freddie Welsh tell a story about putting a ground on his shoulder probably 150 times, and as soon as I saw it on the big screen today, it's the funniest story I've ever heard anybody tell. So it's almost like when you're editing and you're just doing it constantly, you become a bit immune to it, but when it's all out there together, I'm sat with my little bag of popcorn and my bottle of water, and you're in that atmosphere as well where other people find stuff funny that you didn't realise was funny. I just didn't anticipate it would be that well received. And also on the flip side as well, the descriptions of Billy Hogg and his accident, as soon as you see it up close like that and you see the two very different accounts, that got me that.
A year later, Billy Hogg, young Billy from Thornley, 19-year-old. I think Bobby Freck was 21, Billy was 19, within a year.
That's when I saw the first accident on E42 and with Billy Hogg, and it was horrendous. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
As soon as I saw Gordon break down, I was with him, and I know what's coming. I know what happens at the end, but it was still, I felt everything. Yeah.
From that validation from the Northern School of Art, to say you've got something here. To sit now in a cinema.
I need to really thank the Northern School of Art, because if I'd not enrolled for the MA, this project could have gone on for maybe 2 or 3 years and it would never have had the impetus, because I had to work to that 12-month deadline. That really got me working and got me everything together on time, in time. Everybody involved has been fantastic from the start. There's a list of people who I can't thank enough, mainly Simon Hill. who came in on board early doors. Hugh Jones, who's my editor, who came in and has done an amazing job. Everything for the last 14 months has just clicked into place, and I've just met some amazing people.
The support you've had has been amazing, but good things happen to good people, I believe.
Well, I'd like to think so. Yeah. But just the guys themselves, the 15 guys, because I always said this may be my film, but it's not my story. I've never directed it in any way, politically or anything. I basically had some loose questions, and the dark art was to build relationships with them, and I built 15 really strong relationships.
Which is a hard thing to do, because these are hardened pitmen.
We had to build a lot of trust, but they had to trust me to know that, yes, I'm from the area, but I didn't understand the communities as I do now. But I think they all looked at the energy that I was putting into it and the vision that I had with it, and that's why they opened up so well and provided such good content, because they knew how much I believed in this project. And I think my belief and my kind of energy to make sure it was done fed them, and they came back with absolute.
Because you're authentic. You're from the area.
Yeah. Well, it was bizarre when 2 of the Blackhall guys turned up, and I explained to everyone. I said, my dad grew up in Blackhall. Oh, I grew up in Blackhall. And I said, well, he actually grew up in Heselden. And Alec Balfour says, Tommy Smith? I said, yeah. He said, he was my best mate when we were kids. And then Walter used to live out the back of them when they were kids.
Walter Sheriff.
Well, on the big screen here in the big showcase cinema, what's it like watching yourself back?
Very strange, to be honest.
It's a difficult thing to sort of relive your past in front of a camera. What did it feel like?
I think it was a good sensation, nice thing to happen. Recognition for all the past work that the miners have done, the heartache they've gone through, the hardships they've put up with, and I think this is a special day for all of them, not just us.
Now, when you went through those stages of pit closures in the 70s, into the 80s and the strike, what did it feel like when King Coal was taken away from?
It was like one of the lads said in the film, the jobs were there, but you had to go out and find them. I spent 2.5 years on the dole, and back in those days we had coal fires. So a lot of time was spent on the beach picking coal to keep my fire warm for the family, and
Didn't have crackle on the fire though, didn't it?
Oh, it didn't have to throw the heat out though. That with a couple of bits of wood, and it would burn beautifully all night.
This event is amazing. It's been a 14-month or so journey from being photographed by some amazing photographers to being on the big screen. Can you sum up the journey?
As you get older, you get more nervous. I've been set in my ways. I'm retired. I've been retired for a few years, and life's been good, and then something like this is thrown at you, and wow, it's your life's taken off again, and it's good. It's really good.
With it being a village, they all knew my grandfather as well, as he was the insurance man. So they used to ride around on his bike picking up the insurance money. So once you've got that kind of platform to build on, building those bonds became quite easy, really. And once you're trusted by one, that almost validates it for the rest of them to trust you.
My name is John Turner.
What an amazing movie this was. What give us your thoughts.
Excellent. I went to the pits when I was 15, and at the age of 16 I was in the yard at Bank pulling the mine tubs with props and stone dust and any other materials. Further down the line I became a shift overman in the J team, where I was in charge of about 250 guys, fitters, electricians, power loaders, data lads, this, that and the other. Yes, I've seen some scary accidents myself. In the history of my side, being a turner, I found a death certificate, which was my dad's brother, and he lived in 1 Boyd Street, and he was only 15, and he was watching compressed air hauler for the tubs. The rope was engaging with the drum, and all of a sudden he tripped and he fell into the drum, and he came out in the pit in a bag.
Underground was a horrible thing. It wasn't a fun thing. The camaraderie was great, but it was a hell hole, wasn't it?
It was a hell hole, but I enjoyed my time out. What
was it you enjoyed about it?
Companionship, the results, what you achieved with all the pace times, this, that and the other. But yes, I had some very good times at the pit as a colliery lad, because we had no hot water. There was open fire. And my mum used to cook all the meals on there. She has no electric cooker. You leave your door open, nobody would come in and steal from you. You know, people don't say, "Oh, have you got a cup of sugar?" That's the way it was in Corrie life.
Steve Fergus.
Steve, what's it like seeing yourself on the big screen?
Unbelievable. It's quite humbling, really, to think, you know, where we've come from, minor background, and here it is now. Everybody wants to know why we suffered, how we suffered, and how we progressed. It's amazing.
This, what you've made here, is something that's going to stay in history forever. It must be something you feel very proud of watching it.
I'm extremely proud for every person who contributed to this, gave up all their time, and for Russell and Stuart, people like yourselves who's come to see us all. Not only is it humbling for myself, but I am humbled, but I'm very, very proud of what everybody's done. This goes to show what we can achieve. And it's all just by talking, education.
And that's the key, isn't it? Opening up and talking about being given that opportunity, because I think coal mine was one to be brushed under the carpet. But we should be proud of it. They should be singing and dancing about it.
We should be celebrating it. I remember when I was at the pit and we had a newspaper from all over the country, and it was all about what was going on in the different coal fields, and it was all coal miners together. Everybody, you could tell who worked at the pit. You know, you had to look at each other and see the pulleys in the eyes or behind the ears. And it was a generation, and that there's a generation now who's never known that. And the young people deserve to know what the parents or the grandparents, where they worked. A lot of us now have got tattoos, and them tattoos hide the blue scars off the coal where people were injured down the pit. So people think, like, why is all these coal miners heavily tattooed? A lot of them is blue scars. Hide the blue scars. Blueies, used to call them.
And young folk now going to Durham Big Meeting, having a great time. You must take great heart that a lot of the younger generation are starting to sort of embrace the heritage.
When you see the people now behind that banner and how they're enjoying themselves, and it just takes you back to when I was a child and my grandparents had me there, and I look at my family and my grandchildren, and that's all they talk about when we're going to Durham Big Meeting. Granddad, what we're going to do? Are we taking the banner? Yeah, easy. And we take 2 banners in. We take the Durham Age Mine Workers Homes banner in, and they love it. And they've been so lucky that they've been in the cathedral twice with a banner. You only ever go out every 100 years. I've got 2 children who's carried 2 banners into the cathedral, and they are buzzing, and they love to tell everybody about it. This is our history, this is our heritage. People now are not afraid to say, "Oh yeah, I was a coal miner." Years ago, nobody used to talk about it. Now we're singing it from the rooftops. Yes, I was a coal miner.
When will the general public be able to see it? How can we see the movie?
Well, if anybody from Tees Valley Film Festival's listening to this, then I think their deadline, I have submitted it to that, and I think the deadline's Sunday for them letting us know either way if we've been accepted. So if you can put a word in, Gary.
I will.
Yeah.
Of course I will.
Yeah.
I have a dog and bark yourself.
Yeah. So Tees Valley would be great. I'm from Teesside, I live in Saltburn, I'm from Hartlepool. So I'd like to start there. Then we've got Newcastle, we've applied for Manchester, Leeds, and Sundance is the international one. And it's just trying to keep that traction, just keep that movement. Everybody in this room knows it's a good film.
You know, I'm still a working class man, born and bred in Easington. Proud to say I was a miner. Proud to say I worked with some of the salt of the earth.
Amazing stories from 15 amazing individual human beings who just so happen to be coal miners. And I will never, ever tire of talking about our heritage. And I know we can't go back. We should never look back. Never live your life with wing mirrors on, my granddad used to say. But we should never throw away what brought us together, which was the mining communities. And those communities are still there. We've just got to embrace them and be proud of what they achieved. And that's what Last Men Standing has achieved for me. I sat and watched it yesterday and I cried my eyes out at parts. I laughed at parts because I know that every village across County Durham that had a mine had those 15 characters within their communities, and it was just amazing. And I wish Russell and I wish Simon, I wish everybody involved with all the very best, because this needs to be seen on the world stage, because it's us. It shows what we can do, and it shows what we have done. We built the world. We kept the war spirit going through coal mining, and this needs to be put out everywhere. So, Russell, thank you very much for what you've given us, and it's been a pleasure and an honour here at BBC Radio Tees to follow your story.